Hello, this is Ross Bliley from the podcast Pigskin Tales. This podcast is sponsored by Sterling Soap Company. With products sold throughout 41 locations around the globe, Sterling Soap Company has a unique assortment of products to choose from for your loved one for the holidays. Handmade artisan soaps created by Roderick and Amanda Lovin since 2012, these products are affordable and provide great value. Act now and save on your shipping costs. If you purchase $75 or more, your shipping cost is free in the United States. Shop now online at sterlingsoap.com.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Yesterday's Sports on the Sports History Network. Today we're going to talk a little baseball. We'll look back at the history of the Philadelphia Phillies. More specifically, we will look at the years 1976 through 1980. Believe it or not, the Philadelphia Phillies franchise dates all the way back to 1883, when Chester A. Arthur was President of the United States. The Phillies were known as the Philadelphia Quakers. The Quakers were renamed the Phillies in 1890. Despite some outstanding seasons, they did not achieve first place until 1915, when they lost to the Red Sox in the World Series 4-1. In 1932, Phillies outfielder Chuck Klein won the National League MVP award, and the following year he claimed the elusive Triple Crown. Despite having some good players on the team, the Phillies wouldn't win the National League pennant again until 1950, with pitcher Jim Konstanty winning the National League MVP that same year. However, the Phillies had the misfortune of facing the powerhouse New York Yankees in the World Series and lost 4-0. From 1951 to 1975, the Phillies experienced just 9 winning seasons and no pennants. One of the few highlights was when pitcher Steve Carlton won the Cy Young Award in 1972. But all that losing would change in 1976. The Phillies finished the 1976 season with 101 wins and 61 losses, marking their best record in team history. Center fielder Gary Maddox led the team with batting average of .330, while third baseman Mike Schmidt topped the team in RBIs with 107. Schmidt also led both the team and the league in home runs, hitting 38. Pitcher Steve Carlton had a 20-7 record with a 3.13 ERA. And Jim Lomberg recorded an 18-10 record with a 3.08 ERA. Mike Schmidt, along with shortstop Larry Bowa, second baseman Dave Cash, left fielder Greg Luzinski, and catcher Bob Boone were named to the All-Star team. Danny Ozark received the Manager of the Year award. But the season concluded in disappointment, as the Reds swept them in the National League Championship Series. But the loss to the Reds didn't discourage them. The 1977 Phillies matched their 101-61 record from 1976. Although he struck out 140 times during the season, the third most in Major League Baseball, Greg Luzinski had a stellar year. He batted .309. He hit 39 home runs, third most in the league, and drove in 130 runs, second highest in the league. Mike Schmidt hit 38 home runs for the second year in a row. That was the fifth most in the league. And he drove in 104 runs. The Phillies had one of, if not the best, benches in baseball. Utility player Tommy Hutton appeared in 107 games and batted .309. Backup catcher Tim McCarver participated in 93 games and batted .320. Reserve outfielder Bake McBride played in 85 games and hit .339. Backup first baseman Davey Johnson played in 78 games and batted .321. Pitcher Steve Carlton led both the team and the league with 23 wins. His 23-10 record and 2.64 ERA earned him another Cy Young Award. Larry Christensen also enjoyed a fantastic season, finishing with a 19-6 record. Tug McGraw had an excellent season as the Phillies' top relief pitcher. Greg Luzinski, Mike Schmidt, and Steve Carlton made the All-Star team. However, for the second consecutive year, the Phillies lost in the National League Championship Series, this time to the Dodgers, 3-1. The Phillies weren't quite as dominant in 1978, finishing the season with a 90-72 record. But that was good enough to secure first place in their division. Greg Luzinski had another impressive year, belting 35 home runs and driving in 101 runs. Shortstop Larry Boa led the team in batting average, hitting .294. Steve Carlton was the top pitcher once again, winning 16 games with a 2.84 ERA. Larry Boa, Bob Boone, and Greg Luzinski made the All-Star team. The season concluded in frustration as the Phillies lost to the Dodgers once more in the National League Championship Series. During the offseason, the Phillies signed free agent Pete Rose, expecting him to help lead Philadelphia to the World Series. However, injuries and a lackluster pitching staff ultimately derailed the team. They struggled throughout the season, and with a 65-67 record heading into September, something had to be done. As often happens in baseball, the manager received the bulk of the blame, resulting in Danny Ozark's dismissal. Dallas Green took over as the new manager, and the Phillies won 19 of their last 30 games. But it was too little, too late. They finished the season 14 games out of first place. Mike Schmidt hit 45 home runs, the second highest in the league, while the rest of the team managed only 74 home runs. Schmidt also led the team in RBIs with 114. Pete Rose posted the best batting average on the squad, hitting .331. Aside from Steve Carlton, who won 18 games, the pitching staff faced difficulties. Even their top relief pitcher, Tug McGraw, struggled, ending the season with a 5.16 ERA. Larry Boa, Bob Boone, Pete Rose, Mike Schmidt, and Steve Carlton all made the All-Star team. That will conclude part one of our look back at the Philadelphia Phillies. I hope you enjoyed it. Join me again next week, and we will have part two. Thank you for listening, and God bless.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com. Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, aka the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.